by the way, we got 3 games left, we want to take the red shirt.
How do you know there's only 3 games left? You know, so
Regular season game.
there you go. So, and his question was about Colton, and when I brought Colton in, it was the conversation between he and I was, we'll keep some of it to the office, but really the intent is, you know, here's why we're doing it, here's what the purpose is, and even when we recruited him, we said at that time the intent was to redshirt him his whole season. If injuries occurred, then never say never to anything. So, and for whatever reason, we had 3 quarterbacks go down this season. So now we were down to Colton, and that's when we brought him out of his red shirt. So he knew it when we recruited him. We talked about it. We didn't anticipate it. And then thus when it happened, you know, now he had to buy into it, and he bought into it because, you know, we feel we have as good as opportunity as anybody. And even he said, I mean, that's why we do it. I'm gonna take care of every football team, not just certain ones. And every team deserves a chance to win. Every team deserves a chance to make it to the playoffs, and so we'll fight till the bitter end to do so. And that's the way this program operates. And he bought into it, and that's why he stepped up and got us a huge win in a difficult time.
It's gonna be a crazy finish. I think a bunch of you guys bunched at 3-3, and Illinois State surging. They're 3-4 in conference play. Talk about this last 2 weeks and being fairly crazy.
Well, it's the last 2 weeks for us is a handful alone. If you just look at us, we're going to go to Western Illinois. They're playing right now to get in. They're playing in a you know, it's their senior day and all that stuff, but they're playing to get in. You know, just look at that, whether they rank 10th or 12th, probably by the end of the day. And then you go back 2 weeks from now, if you're fortunate enough to put a good plan together and your players execute. If you come back the following week, you're probably playing on a top 10 team, probably 8, you know, 6 through 8 is what South Dakota State should end up being. So, you know, we've got a good schedule as far as what's left on the table to prove a point. You know, so whether we're going to get it done or not get it done, and time's going to tell. But the rest of the leagues, same thing's going on. I see what Youngstown's up against. I see what South Dakota's up against. I see what all these other teams. There's still a lot of football to be played in our league, and then I also see what Eastern Washington has done. You know, I saw in one poll we're number 23 with 2 games left. And I see in other polls where these people are lining up, you got Eastern Washington number 2 in the country, and North Dakota State number 3 or 4. So you look at our schedule, we've been beaten by 4 teams that are in the top 15. And then the South Dakota one is the other. So that's where we stand. And so I can't control what goes on in those meetings. I can only get our team ready to play, and hopefully we can get ourselves to be the talk of the room to make the decision based off how we perform going down the stretch.
What's your biggest concern playing Western Illinois?
My biggest concern playing Western Illinois is the same thing. We got depth problems. Shouldn't call them problems, they're challenges. So we got to find a way again to play the depth game with it. We've got to go on the road again, do it on the road, and you know, they're a very good football team. Very good football team. You look at them, man. They've come a long ways, and their quarterback's playing very well. They're one of the top offenses in the league. I think he's the 2nd-rated quarterback in our league. They got the 1st-rated running back in the league. They got the number 2-rated receiver in the league. So they got a very established offense that's playing very well right now. And then, you know, we're putting our pieces together, but you know, we show flashes of a very good football. It's just what combination will we use this week based off who we have.
They beat you a year ago in the Dome, but now they got a new head coach in Charlie Fisher.
Yep.
How different are they on what they're doing this year under Fisher compared to Nielsen?
They're a lot different. They'll look probably similar to you guys watching from the stands, but they're much different. Fisher's an old offensive coordinator, went through Penn State, went through a lot of those places as a coordinator, and he is most recently he was previous to that he was at Richmond, so he's a very established, very sound football coach, and that's probably the biggest thing I've recognized in them is they're very well coached football team, very well coached. I'm watching the techniques of their D linemen. I'm watching the techniques of their offensive linemen. They're very sound in what they do because we kind of go after techniques sometimes as much as we go after people. And he's very, very well coached football team. Technique sound. I can see what they're trying to get accomplished because their consistency in play, it really makes you see that they're coached the way they are. So that's probably one of the biggest differences I've seen in them, is just that soundness and uniformity of what they do in each play.
How do you defend Lance Lenore?
Yeah, he'll be a handful because he's a heck of a receiver, and they're playing him a little bit different than they played him last year, but they do move him around. So, depending on who we have in the secondary, it'll be another test. But he's a great player, and we've played a lot of good throwing football teams right now. So, to us, yeah, he's very good. I'm looking at the offensive line and the quarterback, because I think the quarterback is talented as well. And then when Lenore can make the big catches, the contested catches. So we have to make sure we get the matchup right and get the coverage right, depending on who we're playing with. So on Wednesday, I'll have a better idea what coverage I'm playing based off who I'm playing with.
I think you've had 4 straight games with multiple interceptions.